All right, today we are focusing on exponential growth and decay and those basics, the basics of basics, okay? So, let's take a look here. Are these increasing or decreasing? That's all we're deciding. So remember how I do this? I look at my left and I point an arrow to my right, and this one went up. So this is increasing. That's kind of cool. All right, so I start on my left, I put an arrow to my right. Ooh, I pointed down, so this is decreasing. Okay, now notice if I was to write this as an exponential, this would end up being like a fraction like this. And this one over here would end up being a normal number like 3, or a number bigger than 1 anyway. So we're going to decide if these are increasing or decreasing. Now remember, h of x, f of x, g of x, m of x, these are just fancy names for y. It's very nice and beautiful and fancy. Okay, so 9 to the x, this is multiplying by 9 every single time. Would we be growing if we're multiplying by 9? Yeah, so this is increasing. So on number 4, this is multiplying by 1.2. If I take 1 and multiply it by 1.2, did I get bigger or smaller? Bigger. So this one's increasing. Okay, if I take 1 and multiply it by 0.99, I get 0.99. Did I get bigger or smaller? I got smaller, so this is decreasing. Okay, and then on the next one, we're looking at this number that's to the x, 0.4. If I multiply 1 by 0.4, do I get bigger or smaller? I get smaller, so this is a decreasing one, which is quite lovely. All right, let's take a look at this. So exponential growth or decay. Exponential growth is when the base is bigger than 1. Exponential decay is when the base is between 0 and 1. So growth, for example, would be 2 to the x. Decay would be 1/2 to the x. Okay, here's our formula for simple exponential equations. Our a sub 0 just means the initial amount, how much we start with. Okay, r is our rate, which we've been talking about for a while, and x is our time period, or time, however many of those are. Okay, so our initial amount is the y value when x is 0. So before we start counting. So right here, my initial amount is 40. All right? So this would start off with y equals, we've got 40, then we got to figure out what we're multiplying by to the x. Okay? Because that's our initial amount. So right here, looking at this, my initial amount's actually hidden on this one. It's the number in front of 4. Now, when there's a number hiding, most of the time it is the number 1. So my initial amount on this one is 1. My rate, or my ratio, is the number next to my x. It's my 4. Now, if I multiply by 4, if I multiply 1 by 4, did I get bigger or smaller? I got bigger. So this one's going to be increasing, which means it's a growth, which is kind of nice. Notice increasing goes with growth, and decay goes with decreasing. Hopefully you knew that. Okay, so the initial amount here, it's very similar. It's still the number 1 because it's this number right here. It's the number in front of the base. Okay, what is the rate or ratio? In this case, it is 1/3. It is the number next to the x. So if I multiply 1 by 1/3, did I get bigger or smaller? I got smaller. So if I multiply by 1/3, I got smaller, so that's decreasing. Well, if I'm decreasing, it's decay. Ta-da! All right, let's try this again. Actually, you try this. Go ahead and give these two a shot. You've got this. I know you do. You're gonna do amazing.